Dr. Bingham. My name is Kayla Culberth, and today I'll be doing a kindergarten lesson on shapes. I just want to let you know before I start my lesson that it is summertime, and since my classroom is completely packed up, that I wasn't able to access every single one of my materials that's on my lessons. So there's just a couple of things that have been modified, but for the most part, it's the exact same lesson that I submitted last week. Well, I hope you enjoy my lesson. Good morning, boys and girls. Can anyone tell me who remembers what we talked about yesterday? Yes, different shapes. And can anyone remember what those shapes were? A circle. What else? A rectangle. That one's a good one. That one's hard. Oh my goodness, you guys remember all of them. So just to refresh our brains for some of those that didn't remember all of them, we're going to do a video. So I need everyone to stand up, and we're going to put our listening ears on.
Circle.
So you're going to stand up. The circle.
Square.
Square.
Triangle.
Good. A triangle.
Rectangle.
Rectangle. All right, we're going to do some movement to it, so you got to get out wide. All right, we're going to make a circle, so you got to go around and around. Now square.
Now let's make shapes all together. Don't you stop. Follow me.
All right, so let's listen. Make a circle. So we're going to go around and around. Good, guys. Just like a ball. Yes, sir. Good job. What's that shape? A circle. So this is a square. Can we draw a square? Good job. Arms out wide. Make that circle. We're going to do a square. Good job, you guys.
Shapes are all around. Just look, they can be found. A box can be a square. A wheel is a circle. A TV is a triangle. A house can be a rectangle. A football is an oval. Look around. Shape up.
Very good, you guys. So like Jack showed us, there are shapes all around this world, all around this classroom. And a little bit later at the end of our lesson, we're going to get to explore some of those shapes. All right, you guys, I have Susie the circle. Yes, this is Susie Circle. So let's do her rhyme. Susie Circle, big and round. All I do is roll around. So Susie Circle is like what? Yes, she's like a ball, so she rolls and rolls and rolls. Does Susie the Circle have any sides? No, there's no straight line, so there's no sides. So does that mean she has any corners? Nope, no corners and no sides. She is very special. So this is Susie the Circle. Very good, a circle. All right, here's the next friend. This is Sandy the Square. Very good. This is Sandy the Square. Sandy Square is my name. My 4 sides are all the same. So let's count those sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many sides? 4. Good. Now, my friend over here, he's going to count our corners. Remember, corners were just a little bit trickier than sides. Can you count my corners? Good. 1, 2. Good. He said there's how many corners? 4. 4 corners. So Sandy the Square has 4 sides and 4 corners. Good job. What shape is this? A square. Awesome job. All right, here's my next friend. This is Tommy the Triangle. Now, how many sides does Tommy the Triangle have? 3. You guys knew it. So Tommy the Triangle, proud as can be, count my sides. 1, 2, 3. Awesome job. Now, I think you may know this one. If Tommy the triangle has 3 sides, how many corners does he have? See, you guys knew it. 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job. All right, my last friend. It looks like a square, but it's not a square. It is a rectangle. So Ricky Rectangle. Ricky Rectangle, don't get me wrong, 2 sides short and 2 sides long. So the rectangle, it sort of does look like a square, right? Yeah, it does, but they're not the same. Ricky the Rectangle has 2 sides that are short and 2 sides that are long. I know, he's a little bit tricky, you cannot forget that. So Ricky Rectangle, 2 short, 2 long, and Sandy the Square has 4 sides, and all those sides are the same. So when you guys are looking at the shapes, make sure you guys notice what the difference are, because there are different shapes. All right, real fast before we start our game. This is a circle, good. Oh, I have to mix these up. Let's see. Ah, you got it, that is a rectangle, good job. Let's see. Circle, he's easy. We've known that one since we were 2. Triangle, and our last one is square. Awesome job. All right, you guys, we are gonna play a really quick game. So I'm gonna give you all a shape, but don't show anybody your shape either, okay? All right. This is your shape. So we are gonna sing a song. This game is called the Shape Game, and we're gonna sing a song. Who knows? If you're happy, you know it. Everyone knows that game. So it's sort of like those lyrics, those words, but it's a little bit different, okay? So this is a listening game, and also you have to know what shape you have. So everyone take a look. Does everyone know what shape they have? Ah, awesome. All right, so let's listen. If you're holding a circle, stand up. If you're holding a circle, stand up. If there's a circle in your hand, then it's time for you to stand. If you're holding a circle, stand up. Is that a circle? Yeah, awesome job. All right, you can sit back down. Let's do another one. If you're holding a rectangle, stand up. If you're holding a rectangle, stand up. If there's a rectangle in your hand, then it's time for you to stand. If there's a rectangle in your hand, stand up. Awesome job. That's it. That's a rectangle. And how many sides is that? 4. Yeah. Look at y'all. 2 short and 2 long. Good job. We continue this game, and we have all the students rotate shapes, so they would get opportunities to have a turn and to do different shapes. So there's another version that we can do, and it talks about the characteristics, about the sides and the corner, and we'll play that for just a little bit. If your shape has 3 sides, stand up. If your shape has 3 sides, stand up. If there's a shape in your hand and it has 3 sides, if you're holding a shape with 3 sides, stand up. Good. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. And what shape is that, you guys? A triangle. Good. All right, let's do another one. If your shape has no corners, stand up. If your shape has no corners, stand up. If you're holding a shape and it has no corners, if you're holding a shape with no corners, stand up. Good, that was a little bit trickier. So what is that shape? Circle. Good job, you guys. So we continue to do that just like the last one. Everyone would get a turn, and then we would rotate so they get to have opportunity to do different shapes as well. Awesome job, you guys, identifying your shape names and those characteristics. Good job. So the next thing we're gonna do is do the, yes, does anyone remember? I know you guys love to play with these. Do y'all remember what this is called? Yeah, a geoboard. Can you say geoboard? Very good. So geoboard, you get to do lots of things. So geoboard, and everyone's gonna get a rubber band. Yeah, we do get to use these in the mornings a lot. We like using these. So today, usually you do different patterns and you do numbers and letters, but today we're gonna do shapes. Absolutely right. So real fast before we start our shapes making, remember rubber bands. Are we snapping our rubber bands? Are we shooting them across the room? No. Remember, these will hurt if you flick them. So we're being very careful. We're using 2 fingers. Don't try to do 1 finger. So you place it, hold it down, then you're going to place your other side on the pegs, just like that. Once it's on the peg, you then can move it and stretch it. Remember, try not to pull it out because then it will pop off and you'll have to start all over again. So these shapes, oh, before I move on, what shape is that? That's a triangle because how many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3. It has 3 sides, so it has to be a triangle. So as you move these around, it's going to make different shapes. Have a rectangle and a working on a square. A square, so it has lots of different shapes. Now, a circle, the circle's a little bit tricky, but I know you guys all can make a circle. Let's see if I could make a circle. It sort of almost looks like an octagon, which I know you guys have no clue what that is, but you'll get to learn that next year. So that's sort of what our circle will look like today, okay? So the first thing we're going to do first is I'm going to give you a shape to make. We're all going to get 1 rectangle, 1 rubber band. So everyone's going to get a geoboard and a rubber band. So the first shape I want you to make is a triangle. Let's see you guys working on that triangle. Good. So, oh, yep, you got to put your finger down and really stretch it. Good. How many sides does your triangle have? 3. So your shape should only have 3. Good, you guys. You're doing an awesome job. Johnny has made the triangle. Look at Johnny's triangle. Oh, awesome job. How many sides does Johnny's triangle have? 1, 2, 3. He's right. 3 sides. Now let's check how many corners it has. 1, 2, 3. 3 sides and 3 corners. It has to be a triangle. Good job, you guys. Now, we've made a triangle, so let's do a square. Can everyone work on a square? Remember, don't pop it off. You have to carefully take it off slowly so we don't break it or pop it across the room. Good, you guys. All right, the students would continue working on different shapes, and then we would try characteristics, and then I would give them more rubber bands to experiment with and get to see what all they can build. Now that you guys have practiced building shapes, we're going to get to identify some shapes. So let's take a look at our game board. So, do these look like normal shapes to you guys? No. I see cheese and a button, a hanger, a sandwich, a donut, pizza, a door. Oh, it's a beehive, watermelon. These aren't normal shapes, are they? You're right, though. They do look like shapes. So, like these pictures, these are things that are out in our world. They're in our environment. We see these things every day, don't we? Outside, in our house, walking down the hallway, at lunch. These are things that we see, and they are shapes. So let's take a look at this right here. So let's look at our cheese. Does it look like a shape? You're right, it does look like a square. So if you look around the shape, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And are all those sides the same? Yes, they are. So it is a square. So let's look at another one. Let's do the donut. A donut. Do we see donuts every day? No, not every day. But do we know what a donut looks like? And what shape does a donut look like? A circle. Very good. Let's try another one. Does anyone know what this is? Ooh, really close. So this is a golf flag. So when maybe your dad or your brother or grandpa may go play golf and they hit the ball into the hole, there's usually a flag, and that's what that is. So let's just look at this orange thing. Y'all right, that's a triangle. Y'all are so smart. So we're going to get to identify these shapes. So this game is called Pull and Move. So in my hand, I have shapes. We all recognize these shapes. We know what these shapes are. This is a rectangle, good. And another rectangle. We have lots of rectangles in here. Triangle, awesome job. Circle. So there's different shapes that we know. So everyone's gonna get an animal. When it's your turn to go, you're going to draw a card. That's a circle. So I'm gonna look at my board and find the first shape that looks like a circle. So the first object that's a circle, and I'm looking. No, that's a funky shape. We haven't learned that shape yet. We said that's a square, a triangle, good. What shape is that? There's your circle. So the button looks like a circle. So I'd move my shape to the button. And then my next friend would go. So he would pull the next card, which is a square. So then he would look, we said this cheese was a square. So he would move to the cheese and then so forth. So the next person would get to go. That's a square. And they would move to the next object that looked like a square. What is that? Very good. That's an envelope. So you'd move to the envelope. Does everyone understand how to play this game? It's a little bit different than what we're normally doing. Okay, so each of you are, I'm going to put partner out. So you two guys are going to be partners and you girls can be partners as well, okay? You're going to get a game board and 2 pieces, okay? All right, you may begin your game. So as the students are playing their games, I'm just going to be monitoring, make sure that they're playing the game correctly and that they're identifying the correct shapes as well. Guys, you have done such an awesome job identifying shapes, reviewing them, building shapes, and getting to play your board games where you get to see shapes and different objects that look like shapes. So before we wrap up our lesson, let's see if we remember what those shapes are. This is a triangle, good, and your circle. All right, now let's see if we remember if we can figure out which one's which. A square, because how many sides does it have? 4, and they're all the same. Good. And our last one's a rectangle. But remember, he has 2 sides that are short and 2 sides that are long. Awesome job. So real fast, let's see, my girls. I want you to go point to an object that's a triangle. And boys, you're going to go find something that looks like a circle. So see if you can go find something. So the boys and girls would they would go get to explore the room finding different shapes. And then after we reviewed them, they'd come back and they get to go find another shape. So I hope that's my lesson, kindergarten lesson on shapes, and I hope you enjoyed it.